A pilot who flew towards boats on Horsestooth Reservoir last year on 911 charges will face criminal charges if investigators can find him.
Imagine yourself enjoying an afternoon on a boat with your family and friends, when suddenly a plane flies low overhead, so low that you can see the faces of the pilots. The plane does a barrel roll and then comes back for another pass, even closer this time. You're terrified, and you can't believe that someone would do something so reckless. Why did the pilots harass the boaters? And what are the consequences of reckless flying? In September of 2022, two pilots, Hamad al-Kadah and Ahmed Wahba, both from Egypt, decided to have some fun. They took their Cessna 172 aircraft for a flight over Horsestooth Reservoir in Colorado. As they flew over the reservoir, they decided to fly quite low over the boats on the water. Hamad al-Kadah, a commercial pilot with more than 7,000 hours of flight experience, and Ahmed Wahba, a certified flight instructor with over 3,500 hours of flight experience, were at the controls. The pilots flew their plane exceptionally close, sometimes getting within just 15 to 20 feet of the boats below. They even performed a few barrel rolls, which are acrobatic maneuvers involving rolling the aircraft. This unexpected and risky behavior left the people on the boats in a state of fear and anxiety, as some of them believed the plane might crash into the water. But the pilots didn't stop there. They made a daring decision to turn their plane around and make another pass over the boats, this time flying even closer to the terrified individuals on the water. On one of the boats, there was a young child on board, and the child's parents were understandably terrified for their child's safety. However, just as the pilots were preparing for another pass over the boats, their plane stalled, leading to a loss of control, and it ultimately crashed into the water of the Horsestooth Reservoir. The impact of the crash resulted in injuries to both pilots, but miraculously, they managed to survive. Following the crash, law enforcement took swift action. The pilots were arrested and charged with reckless endangerment, as their actions had put the lives of those on the boats at great risk. The court found both pilots guilty of the charges brought against them, and they were subsequently sentenced to probation and ordered to perform community service as a consequence of their dangerous and irresponsible behavior. Why did the pilots harass the boaters? The reason behind the pilots' harassment of the boaters remains unclear. The pilots provided a clear explanation for their actions. Some people think their motivation on that particular day might have been boredom and a desire for excitement. Alternatively, it's possible they were attempting to impress each other with daring maneuvers. Regardless of their motivation, the pilots' behavior was extremely perilous and thoughtless. First, they lost their pilot licenses, which meant they were no longer allowed to operate aircraft. Secondly, they faced criminal charges, resulting in legal consequences. These charges led to sentences of probation and community service, requiring them to comply with specific conditions as part of their punishment. Additionally, they were required to make restitution, which meant they had to pay back the people who suffered harm as a result of their careless action. This incident is a reminder that pilots have a responsibility to fly their planes safely and responsibly. They should never put the lives of others at risk for their own amusement. It is also a reminder that reckless flying can have serious consequences. Pilots who fly recklessly can lose their pilot licenses, face criminal charges, and have to pay restitution to the victims of their actions. We hope you enjoyed the video. We ask that you share it and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon.